All right, there we go. I'll take it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 67 of the Cross Media Show. Today's topic is, of course, episode 6 of The Last of Us on HBO. Give me 1 second as I load up the doc because I forgot the rest of the intro. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast service, feel free to give us a good rating on that platform. It helps us with the algorithms and helps us grow our audience. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider dropping a like and a sub, and please do not forget to hit that bell to get notifications for when we go live with all of our shows, like the Penultimate Game Show, the Marvel Mondays Initiative, and Animation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruben, the director of this channel, and today I am joined by, of course, Ryan the Lion, 3055. Ryan, how's it going?
Doing good, like always. Excited to talk The Last of Us.
Of course, of course. Today we are joined by not one, but two guests. Our first guest is, of course, our first guest is already... I'm sorry. I want to apologize to both our guests because I screwed up for the video feed. Just give me 1 second. Our first guest today is the one and only Aaron Cini, the co-host of Give Me 20 podcast, and RIP, the co-host of Speaking of Stadia.
Thanks for having me back on, man. Good to be back.
Good to be back. It's about time, Aaron.
I know, it's been a minute, man.
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Good. Excited to talk Last of Us. My favorite game, now probably my favorite show.
Oh, all right. Good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And of course, our first time having this person on the channel, one of the editors from 6-1 Indie, Harry Lazidas. I hope I said that right. Oh, Harry, you are muted. No, still muted.
No.
There. Oh, well, we heard just no. That's all we heard.
So you... No.
It's a little bit. It's...
I guess. Hello.
I don't know.
Hello. Oh.
No.
We're getting a little bit of it. Like, hello, and then it'll start cutting out.
Well, this is a really...
I'm so sorry,
That
Harry.
was very profound.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful speech.
Did that do anything?
Let's see. It's starting to work. We hear everything you just said.
So I will test it again
Yes.
by talking for several more seconds.
There we go.
Because all I did was just plug it out and then plug it back in.
Hey, it's usually what works.
Yay. Yeah, I'm real dumb with podcast technology stuff, so I apologize.
That's all right. How are we doing today, Harry?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about, similar with Aaron, one of my favorite games ever, or my favorite duology of games, and a masterful show. It's so good.
So good. So good.
So good. Oh my god. But, we'll talk about more and get into details. But
Yes.
It's so good.
Before we get into it, let's do some housekeeping. There's supposed to be an announcement happening tomorrow, but I am not sure what time it's supposed to happen, so keep an eye on Twitter at twitter.com/penconquest. So take a look at that. And as always, please feel free to leave your thoughts and questions on our SpeakPipe at speakpipe.com/penultimateconquest. So, me and Ryan have been giving our initial thoughts for the show for the past 6 episodes. Well, for the past 5 episodes. Aaron, let's hear your initial thoughts on the show so far.
I'm loving it, man. I think it's a great adaptation. The things that they're changing have all been wonderful. Like, I feel like the directions they've taken certain characters and certain storylines make sense for TV. And yeah, I mean, at this point, like, you can't say anything bad about the cast either. Bella Ramsey's killing it as Ellie. She's absolutely doing Ashley Johnson justice in this show, if not even elevating the character past that. And yeah, no, I can't say enough good things about how great this show's been so far.
Okay, all right. Harry, what about you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. um, I. What is the rating of this podcast? I forgot. Can I say no words?
You can say
Okay.
whatever words you want as long as they're not.
I fucking love this show. It's so good. It's like I haven't played the original game in maybe like 5-ish, 6-ish years, but it gets the same vibe of exactly what the story is, but they're changing things that I might remember and might not remember in such a fun way where it still keeps me guessing a little bit, even though I know the overarching story, so I can still nerd out and hypothesize with some other coworkers or friends who have no idea what the game is, so
Right.
then I'm just nerding out and be like, oh man, but this is different and this is exciting and all the acting's sensational, and it's becoming that show that's like bursting out on the seams where people who don't even know that this is a video game are nerding out about it.
Yeah.
And it's been really exciting to see coworkers and a bunch of students be like, "Oh, like Mr. L, have you heard of The Last of Us?" And I'm like, "Oh, buddy, have I heard about The Last of Us?" And I'm like, "You don't even know." But yeah, it's a sensational show. I think about episode 3 every day.
Yeah.
I bought the wine. I went to a wine store and bought a half a dozen of those wine bottles because I'm just like, I'll have emotional damage with this later, but for now,
Whoa.
let me just buy it. Yeah,
right.
I'll get real sad again. Watch
Okay.
that episode and be like, all right, let's have a glass of wine, and then be like, oh. But yeah, I can't gush. I can gush about this and just say the same thing over and over again for like 2 hours. So
Okay.
it's so good.
All right. I'm glad we're all loving it so far. It really is it's a one of a kind thing because I don't think any other story would have, like we've all seen, well, most of us have seen comic book adaptations just like miss the nail on the head, and also video game adaptations. I don't know why I said comic book because this is a video game. But mostly video game adaptations just miss the nail on the head. I am really concerned as to the other projects that PlayStation Studios is working on. I don't think that they're going to have the same magic that this show has. I am specifically, I've been saying this since the beginning, I'm looking at you, Amazon Prime's God of War series, which, I don't know. I don't know if you can pull that off. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the show. Please, guys, as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in whenever, I'm just going to go through the plot, just description, and yeah, let's do it. 3 months after Henry and Sam's deaths, which just right out of the bat fucking hit hard. Still hit hard. Joel and Ellie reach a small, thriving community in Jackson, Wyoming, where Joel is reunited with Tommy, whose wife Maria is pregnant. I mean, I'm pulling this description from Wikipedia, so it's very blunt. Ellie learns about Sarah's fate from Maria. Joel confides in Tommy about Ellie's immunity and his own declining mental state. I also just want to point out, like, seeing Joel have essentially panic attacks. For the first time I saw it, I was like, oh no. For some reason, I thought it was. This is a weird poll. Don't judge me for this weird poll. But I felt like it was something along the lines of the heart disease that gets Goku in Dragon Ball Z.
I thought you were going to talk about Red Dead Redemption.
No. It's just very weird random pull. I saw him clutch his heart and he's like, I just had trouble breathing, and I was like, oh no.
Heart attack?
I don't know, Ryan. Like they could change whatever the fuck they want in this.
I mean, he's also in his 50s, so like it's
Yeah.
not totally. He's had a life, so
Yes, exactly. This kid is putting too much stress on his goddamn heart, okay?
No, I think he's having a panic attack.
Yeah, no, I know that now.
And night terrors.
Yes, I know that now. I also want to give a shout out to the wife of the first pair of people that they get in contact with. And
she was great.
Yeah, she was real great.
Yeah,
She-
exactly.
That whole interaction was fantastic.
Yeah,
It's cold outside. Of course, I give them soup.
exactly.
Oh,
Phenomenal. Joel asks Tommy to take Ellie to the Fireflies as he is afraid he cannot keep her safe. Ellie overhears them and confronts Joel, who insists they will part ways. For me, this hit more emotionally than the game did. I don't know why. I guess it goes with the thing where you are Joel in the game, and this is just you're a spectator. But it could just be me.
No, I'd agree with that. And Bella Ramsey owned the scene
Yeah.
like she does with every scene she's in. But yeah, this was awesome. It's one of my favorite scenes in the game, and to see that played out the way that it did, it was fantastic.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. In the morning, Joel changes his mind after remembering his daughter, and the two of them travel to Colorado on horseback. Which that scene alone, just him looking in the crowd and seeing someone who looks like Sarah, ooh, fucking got me.
I thought he was hallucinating.
I also thought he was hallucinating, but then she turns around and obviously we realize it's just some random.
That's I'm like, oh god, did he have a heart attack and is he about to collapse?
There you go. Go.
I'm like, is that the change?
Also, back at Tommy's, did we get our first look at Dina?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Hype
had to
factor
be.
for that, because I was like, let me just replay that.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
I looked at it. I'm like, yup, that's
Yep.
fucking
That's
Dina.
Dina. Oh, I popped for that good. Yeah, that's
That's
great.
their first interaction. Be like, what? You want to fight? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, yes. Like,
I did see Neil Druckmann tweet out just the one of the things that was just what's happening, like the things that go viral on Twitter. Was that Dina in all caps? It was
oh,
great.
that's great.
So good.
Yes. So
Oh, can't wait for season 2. It's gonna be so good.
I can't wait for season 2, but also give me 5 years between these two seasons. I don't think my heart can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to me tomorrow. I'm the
Oh
opposite.
Jesus.
I need the emotional damage as soon as possible.
Oh man. They find the Fireflies have vacated their base, possibly relocating to a hospital in Utah. The monkeys in this scene were also like unrealistic, but I'm okay with that just because everything else has been looking perfect.
Did you find monkeys in the game?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
At
Because I was like,
CSC,
I remember giraffes. I don't remember monkeys.
Yeah. Was the giraffe in the hospital? Or was
It's
that
on the
later on?
way.
That's later. That's in Seattle.
Okay. All right. Just
Or not
double-checking.
Seattle, sorry. Utah. Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Seattle's part 2.
Gotcha. Joel and Ellie attempt to escape a group of raiders. When one of them attacks Joel, Joel kills him but is stabbed during the struggle. Joel and Ellie escape the others, but Joel soon collapses and falls off their horse, leaving Ellie unsure how to proceed. And man, oh man, we're gonna get a taste of what people think is to come. That didn't make any sense. We're going to get a taste of how people feel about Joel dying. Just wait till season 2, people. Just wait till season 2.
Yeah.
I thought this was a very strong episode. Like I said, I used to be, for the first 2 episodes, I think, I was unsure about the chemistry between Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, but I am all in right now. Like I am convinced that these are real people. I am convinced that he wants to do everything he can to take care of her, and I'm convinced he will go above and beyond.
Now, Ruben, what did I say? I said around episode 4 or 5. That's when you're gonna start feeling that connection.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, you did, and I did feel the connection, but now it's like I kind of knew that this unwavering was coming, and now, now that we know, he's gonna do whatever it takes. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have any questions. This is a pretty straightforward episode. Like, what did we think about this episode? Aaron.
I thought it was super strong. I think every episode's been super strong. I think 3 was probably its strongest, but that's because it was also the most different. Like I really didn't know where they were going to go with Bill and Frank's story, and so
Yeah.
like that was such a treat. Whereas this one felt a lot more like in line with the game of getting to Tommy's and like seeing that connection. Shout out to Gabriel Luna, who's killing it as Tommy. He's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
And then obviously like where they go in Colorado is literally the town I live in. Like CSU is down the street, which is the college they modeled it after. So like obviously
That
I
must be
was
a little weird.
yeah, I was obviously popping hard for CSU showing up and everything. They do change the name. They call it Colorado Eastern State University or something like that. They just
Yeah.
barely change it.
Yeah.
And it's the Bighorns instead of the Rams, but like that is the same campus that I've walked on hundreds of times. And so like yeah, I don't know. This episode was awesome. It's one of my favorite stretches of the game. I love the scene with Joel and Ellie when they're about to part ways, and Ellie kind of standing her ground and like sharing her side of things, and watching Joel come around to the fact that he is this girl's protector is awesome. Especially because I thought last week we saw so much connection between Joel and Ellie with the joke books, and
Yeah.
like he's really starting to warm up to her. So to see that PTSD and that panic really come in of like he can't lose another person that he's finally let in, I thought was super interesting. And the fact that she kind of pulls him back in and says like, no, like this is kind of your purpose now is fantastic. So absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Harry, what about you?
I really liked it overall. I thought it was really fun to add new characters, like we talked about in the beginning with that couple for some like light humor, even though they're at gunpoint because they're like, "I'm just gonna live my life. You can shoot me, or you just listen to what I say." And I really like how they added Jackson to the show, which is
Yes.
from the second game. And I had to do some mental gymnastics, be like, was this only the second game? Was this the first game? And I'm pretty sure it was just the second game because they were just at the dam
Yeah.
when they met. So I was like, yeah, like I love this notion of, all right, we definitely know that there are 2 games, but we don't know exactly how they're going to weave in and out the first and second games into the first season and presumably the second and maybe third seasons of the show.
Right.
So I was really intrigued with that to kind of keep me on my toes and not just be like, all right, well, this is a beat for beat retelling, which I'm really enjoying that they're doing meaningful and light adjustments to the story to make it make sense in a different medium,
Yeah.
which is usually the downfall of every adaptation for either video games or comics or whatever, where they try to do like a one-for-one. I'm looking at you, Avatar, The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, no, we don't speak about that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we don't need to because I've already forgotten about it.
Yes, good.
But yeah, like I must have watched all these episodes like on loop, like at least once or twice every week, just to be like, I can't stop watching this because even though it's such an emotional drain, it's like a good emotional drain where you have like the emotional distraught, but then you're like, I freaking loved it because it's so genuine to everything that I like about like everything. So
I love the
Yay.
addition
Yeah.
of Jackson with you. Like you were saying, like how the town's already developed. Like that makes more sense to me that in 20 years they'd be able to have these buildings and running water and
Yeah.
electricity and all these things that they've accomplished.
Yes.
Versus it was almost weird in the first to second game, where the first game they just have the dam, they just figured out power. Second game, we skip ahead 4 years and they have this fully functioning town.
Right.
Yeah.
So I loved getting to kind of see that and know that that's what's coming for season 2.
Well, you also have to remember that the game was only the first game was 2013. This is 2023, so it's
Right.
kind of the time skip is also helpful. You know,
Yeah.
I do love the fact that we, like you guys has been saying, I do love the fact that we get parts of the second game bleeding into the story of the first game. Like seeing Dina, I almost flipped the lid. I was like, holy shit. And then we just see her scurrying away. And then just like you all have said already, like just seeing the town is kind of reassuring me like they're going to nail both stories on the head.
Yeah.
So it's I'm happy so far.
I was also waiting for them to, when they went to the bar, Tommy and Joel that there was going to be like a racist old white guy saying, or not racist,
Yeah.
a homophobic white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, are they going to see that? And they didn't, which I'm cool with because I didn't want to punch anyone in the face,
Right.
like as I was watching it. But I was like, that would have been a funny little like smirk to be like, all right, this is the seed of assholery that we're going to see in the future for reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun because I didn't know what they were going to do with everything in the town. Because like we saw the sheep, which looks like sheep from the second game. We saw a movie, which is stuff that they've talked about in both games. Like, wow, what's a movie? Or, oh man, you flew in an airplane. You were in the sky. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Like stuff like that, like really gets me. And I'm like, yeah, like. They nail it so well that you forget that it's a video game adaptation. That's probably like a weird backhanded compliment, but it gets it to the public space that it's not like, oh, it's just Pokemon, which is a video game. No, this is The Last of Us, where the story is the crutch of it, and now you're seeing it because of an adventure.
Pretty much. I have been asking this question, and I kind of touched on it before, but like I said before, we witnessed the story of the first game. I was going to say first episode. We witnessed the story of the first game through the eyes of Joel, and we kind of understand, like, for me personally, I haven't seen him as a bad guy in that game. I've seen him as the good guy, but with the show, we kind of see, like, the lines are blurred. Yes, he's a bad guy, and yes, he's a good guy, but he did what he had to do to survive, and we also, like, he tells us, like, he's been on both sides of I'm assuming when we were talking about episode what was it, 4 5, where where they get to, I think it was Kansas City, no,
4.
episode 4, where the guys are just like trying to ambush him, and he goes and says, I've been on both sides. It is blurring the lines of like, oh fuck, well maybe Joel's not a really good guy. Like, I know he says it in the game, like he's not a good person, but me personally, I don't seem to think that he's a bad person. I continue to still think that he is a good person in the games, which makes that scene in the second game so much more painful for me. I don't know where I'm going with this. I guess my question is my question is, like, do you feel that the people, the normies that haven't played the games, do you think that they're going to have that strong of a connection with Joel that the people who've played the games have?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also think the whole like argument of is Joel good or bad from the games that we've heard for years now is like fairly reductive to what this game is trying to do. Like, this game is actually saying this world is so gray.
Yeah.
Like, we have love, we have hate, we have these things that we have to experience, we have trauma, we have survival. You take good and bad out of the phrase endure and survive. It's about just pressing forward if you can and finding anything that's worth holding on to in this world. And for me, like, that's where I've never seen Joel as necessarily a good or bad guy. I just see him as a guy surviving this shitty situation, losing his daughter, and trying to figure out what life looks like again. So, yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Aaron, because not to get philosophically, but it's hard to put our 21st century perspective on a scenario that we have no perspective on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we had a pandemic and we're still in it, but like we haven't had that kind of pandemic where like people turn into fungus monsters.
Not yet. Not yet.
So we don't know, like,
Not yet.
You give it a year or two.
but yeah, like I always found that weird that the same thing, like it's super reductive. It's kind of silly to be like, all right, like, are you a good or bad guy? No, they're just trying to not die.
Yeah.
So they'll do what they need to do. That's like Maslow's theory of like whatever, like the basis safety and security. They can't do anything until they have safety and security. So they'll do whatever they need to do that, and then kind of go from there. I've like, if I had to be reductive, which I might, because now that's the word I'm going to be using 15 times.
That's okay. That's all right.
Of course he's a bad guy. Like, in the most basic way of like, yeah, he does bad things, but he's a good guy because he wants to be better than that. So I think that's the thing that we need to be mindful of. Like, yeah, like I'll do a bad thing for the right reason, but I'm not going to feel bad because I did it for the reasons that I did it.
That's a good point. I like that.
And I think that's something that some people are starting to realize about the show. That, and Joel even said, like, he's done bad things. He will continue to do bad things to good or bad people. And, you know, you can get mad at me, but I'm here and they're not, so get over it. So that's something to be mindful of and just kind of roll with the punches. And as we will see in the future of the game and the show, I'm presuming, there will be more opportunities for viewers / players to get more opinions about that kind of scenarios.
Right. Okay.
But it's so good.
Yeah, so good. Do you guys have any questions to ask us?
How do you think the show's going to end? Do you think it's going to end the same way as the show, the game, or?
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
well, they pull a fast one on us.
Yeah.
I've kind of gone in assuming we're gonna have the same ending, strictly for the fact that I think that's the emotional string through for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to do season 2 based off the second game, I think you still need that big issue hovering over Ellie and like, what does she do with that information and how does she deal with what she now thinks about Joel, right? Because like that's what comes into light in the second game. Is he a good or bad guy in Ellie's eyes? Is he the guy that she was hoping he was, or is he not? And I'm not sure you get to have that same internal struggle without that ending.
I think you're right, Aaron. We kind of have the groundwork set up for it already with when she tries to heal Henry with her blood. And she seems that it's not working, so she has lost faith in a cure, I think, personally. So it would make sense if Joel decides, like, the only way that, well, it would make sense if they follow through with the game's ending. And then at season 2, we get Joel's real decision as to why he did it, and we'll probably get that Henry didn't work on Henry, so it was no luck, you know. But that is a good question. I hope that they don't change that because, yeah, like Aaron said, it was kind of the main point with part 2. So I don't know. I would hope that they don't change that, but that could just be me.
For me, I think it's the one major thing from the game you can't really play with. The whole story and the emotional weight it carries as a story is based on that end moment when you sit there holding the controller as they're driving away and you're like, what was this whole package as a whole now? I had this getting it entirely flipped on its head in that last arc. So I just can't see it going away. And I also think there are going to be heavy allusions that when we first played, we didn't know for season 2. Like, I think we're going to see characters and stuff from season 2 in the hospital setting.
Oh,
All of that. Yeah,
okay.
I think we get.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd be shocked if we didn't.
I think we see Abby 100%.
that was going to be my next question. Do you guys think we see Abby in the what I'm
I
assuming
don't
is the
think-
last episode?
I don't think we'll see Abby. I think we'll see a father figure, and then that'll be the catalyst. Because I think if we see a younger child who is crying over the death of a certain person, I think that lays it on too obvious for.
What happened?
Because what I thought was really interesting in the second game was that being such a huge and important twist that like it kind of flipped your head on your perspective of a lot of things that happened in the previous game. So I would hope that they don't lay it so obviously in the show, and it kind of gives you a reward for rewatching and be like, oh yeah, those 1, 2, 3 bullet points like really have new context and reviewing it after the second season kind of thing.
If anything, I could see when Joel's trying to get out of the hospital with Ellie, like if he's taking people down and he sees a little girl and he chooses to let her live and then they keep moving on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I could see
I think it's
that
gonna
being
be
a
something
point.
like that. I think it's something like that.
Ooh, I like that. That's some good
That,
thinking.
yeah, that is some real good thinking because that will just fucking eat me alive until season
Right.
2.
In 2 to
So.
3 years when we get season 2.
Yeah.
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 I do think it's at least 2 years. So
I
Yeah.
also think it's
I'm
years.
I'm
hoping.
okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. I'm okay with that. I'm hoping it's maybe 3 or 4, but that could be pushing it. It is a cash cow for HBO and PlayStation, so right now it would make sense to get it out as fast as possible. But you know, I could see 2 years.
Like the game, make it 4 real life.
Yeah, I think they're gonna want to strike while the iron's hot. So I think
Yeah.
they'll try to go as quickly as they can, and that's why I kind of land in that 2-year spot. So
Yeah.
Well, I also hope we're gonna have a finite amount of time with Ellie and Joe, but I don't want to say the spin-off word, but I hope they do like vignettes of like 4 episode arcs of like totally random shit from the world, kind of like what they did in the first couple episodes with the cold opens.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't done
Yes.
that since.
I know
So
I
I'm-
miss it.
and I was waiting for it to happen today. I mean, not today, like the latest episode, just because it's almost like another arc because the Sam and Henry thing was done. But we didn't get that. So I'm hoping while they're working on the main series, we could have like the world of The Last of Us or like stories from The Last of Us. And we just get like 1 to 4 episodes, height-sized things about like either really nice things or really emotionally sad things. Because The Walking Dead did this to like a fault. They're like, let's make 85 spin-offs. The same thing they're doing with
Some
Game
say
of
it's still
Thrones.
going,
But
you know?
Right.
yeah, like which is wild to me. Like I haven't even thought about The Walking Dead to think of watching it in like a decade.
It
So
comes up every podcast.
Every time we do an episode of The
mean,
Last of
yeah.
Us.
but like that's the funny thing because The Last of Us is doing it right, I hope. And they're taking the time to do it correctly. So if they do like spin off things correctly as well, like I'd be all for it. But if they're like, all right, let's make 8 different spin-offs, be like, no, you're missing the point of what makes this special.
I
Jackman
also
so far has gone on record saying he only wants to stick to the games. Like he only
Yeah.
wants to tell the stories that are already there. But I would also love like little slice of life vignettes.
Yes.
And I think the Frank and Bill episode proved how valuable those are.
god.
yes. I could definitely see season 2 as just like a placeholder for in between, just to get that, you know, not the lifespan, but to draw it out. You know, get get 3 episodes. Give 3 episodes to like one specific story, and then just do a 9-episode season. I could definitely see that.
And I think that's very plausible because I think Game 2 is going to be split into 2 seasons. I think it's
I
2
agree.
and 3.
Yeah.
And if anything, where I would cut it is I would do all of Ellie's story in that season, and then the season 3 would be all from Abby's
Ah,
perspective.
you
Yup.
see, I'm
Right.
thinking the opposite. I'm thinking you do Abby's perspective first.
And like end the season with her and Joel, and then like flip it on its head of the revenge
I
tale.
think it
Yeah.
needs to end with the brutal beatdown. Like that's the way that season 2 needs to end.
No,
I
in my
think-
head it's episode 1.
Oh
I
my
don't- I
god,
don't
Jesus
think so.
Christ,
I think
Harry.
it's going-
I mean, listen, I'm not a monster, but I enjoy pain. But no,
I-
that was. But
My
like,
thought with season 2, I think it's early, but I don't think it's in the very first episode of season
I
2.
don't know.
I think
1 or 2 for sure.
if
I do think within first 2, though. I agree.
if we go through the lines of what I said, you know, doing Abby's story first and then continuing with Ellie's story, like get the background of what Ellie and Joel have been through. I think of just the first episode is we see the background between Abby and her father, who is the one person that decides to like, all right, we're gonna kill this kid to get the cure, and we'll just see that progress up until the last episode where she finally gets to the cabin and they find Joel. And that's where I think that ends. And then the next season is going to be the path for revenge with Ellie.
You see, I'm on the same page with you there. I think it cold opens with her in the hospital room after what has just gone, like minutes after,
Okay.
and that's where we go when we go from there. But I do also think it starts with Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I see Druckmann wanting to kind of keep that same structure of like, you think this is the villain, and then flipping it on its head for the next season to be like, here's who this really is.
Yeah, but I don't think that works for television.
That's fair.
You gotta you gotta play it at both sides first, and then show like, boom, the person that you just fell in love with for an entire season did this crazy thing that to the person that you fell in love with the first season. You know, like one of the people that you fell in love with the first season.
Yeah.
Or every episode is back and forth.
Which totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
'cause-
could also be it. Oh man, that'd be good.
Yeah, like I could see them being like, Abby, like we have no idea who Abby is, so we're just like la la la, and then we see like 2 episodes with Joel and Ellie, and then we're like, oh my god, this crazy lady just KO'd someone.
Yeah.
And now we're like, wait, why are we still watching episodes about her leading up to this? And then we were like, oh yeah. Or they can do reverse Abby, like start with her like doing the bad deed, and then we like instead of having to defer this timeline, do slow backtracks and be like, oh yeah, like this is her in the giant Coliseum. Oh, this is her meeting that zebra or whatever. Oh, this is her. Oh my god, it's the hospital from 80 hours ago. That'd be cool. But like, I also don't make a lot of money making movies and shows, so I'm sure they'll find a way, hopefully, to do it well.
I'd love a first episode where it's like Joel and Ellie off on their little museum adventure, and then you cut to Abby and her dad off on their own little adventure, and you have like this really nice back and forth look at this daddy-daughter thing. Yeah, and then that first episode ends showing that he was the doctor in the hospital.
I like that.
Yeah, and then you
really
kind of
good.
kick off like the, oh goddamn. And so like I think that would tie me into Abby on understanding where she's coming from killing Joel like right off the bat.
Yeah, that's also why I love the second game so much, because there's what are words? But there's so many parallels to them that like I don't know if I love either of them, but I'm just so engrossed by how they're presented and like how you're forced to play both sides of it. And it's not like a choose your own adventure. It's like this is the adventure, and you're just plowing through it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I could also see them just like showing but not showing. You know what I'm saying? Like showing Joel get beaten to death, but not showing by who.
Right.
Which would be
That'd be
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. But like Harry said, I don't write television for a living, so please don't listen to me. I'm the one that thinks the Lost ending was pretty good.
I've never watched that.
You should. It's a good show. It's a good show.
I'll just
I mean,
rewatch The
somehow
Last of Us and get
Lost
sad.
made it.
Yeah. I didn't mind the ending of Lost. I just thought there was too many unanswered questions, but that's kind of hit its MO.
Right.
Lindelof.
Right.
Lindelof
But what
loves
do the
dangling
numbers
things. Yeah, exactly. I still don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Nothing good.
I think that's about covers it. Do we have anything else to say before we close out the show?
Sami Zayn should have beat Roman Reigns on Saturday.
He should have beat Roman Reigns. I was screaming in my house. God damn.
I didn't know what kind of reaction I'd get just throwing that out.
That is the most excited I've seen Ryan in this past 6 episodes we've done with The Last of
I
Us.
live and breathe professional wrestling. I'm gonna be at Mania this year. I'm hyped.
Oh, that's awesome. Good
That's
for you.
cool.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. No, if you're listening to this, you probably watched The Last of Us, and if for some reason you stumbled on this and you don't, change that. So
Yeah, change it. It's beginning to be one of the best things of television I've seen. So
You stumbled onto a real
It's
episode
so good.
6.
okay,
Is that episode 6 of the show?
this is episode 6.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we got 3
I-
episodes left.
real quick, I'm
That's
just
what I felt
very.
like.
No, we only have 2 episodes. I thought.
No, it's a 9
It's
episode
10.
arc.
Are we sure?
It's 10.
Yeah, no, it's 9. I got here 9.
Wow.
9.
Not doubting you, but
I mean, doubt away. I got the
sworn there
answer
was 8.
correct. It's 9.
Pretty sure it's 9.
We got the flashback next episode, and then 2 more episodes after that.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, how are they gonna cram it all into 2 more episodes? But
Especially
that's
with the
just-
finale being 45 minutes.
yeah, like
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's one of
either.
the shortest episodes of the season is going to be the finale.
So I guess it's just gonna be pew. We're here, pew pew. Last comment, then we're done. Like,
Yep.
they're probably gonna barrel through it.
Yeah.
I think
They're
it's
like,
going
all
to
right,
be
we
probably
ran
the
out of
most,
money.
like aggressive episode of the season.
We shall see.
Where, but I also think that next episode is either going to be flashback, or it's going to be the mall.
Isn't the mall the flashback? Or am I
Is the mall
confused?
the flashback?
Yes, the mall is
Yeah.
the flashback.
Is that what triggers DLC? Because
Yes.
aren't they doing the DLC?
Weirdly enough, the DLC takes place in 2 malls. Because there's the modern mall where she's dragging Joel around to try to find medicine and make him better. And then
That's
there's
right.
the flashback
That's-
mall with
Oh
Ryan.
dang!
There you go.
I forgot.
I've
guess
only
I totally
played
forgot
this
about
game
that.
like 9 times.
Yeah.
Like it's like an
Uh,
annual playthrough for me at this point. I got to go to the London premiere of this game and actually
Wow.
meet Neil Druckmann and Troy Baker, and it was fantastic. So
That's
they went all
awesome.
out. They made it look like we were in an apocalypse. Like when you wanted a snack, you walked up to a smashed open vending machine and just like reached in and grabbed it. And, yeah. So shout out to IGN. Thanks for sending me. That was awesome.
That's great.
Okay.
Cool.
So I've been obsessed with this game for a very, very, very long time.
As you should. It's a really
The
great
show is and the show is just right there with it.
game. Yeah.
So good.
We'll see what happens with that Amazon Prime God of War.
Well, I'm quite frankly, I was shocked that you said that you're not really intrigued on that one. If anything, I'm more concerned about the Aloy story on Netflix.
Well, I mean, to be
It
fair,
looks-
it's
It's gonna be a train wreck.
Harry. I don't
No.
know if you know this, but
Let me
like,
just.
Horizon's a bad video game franchise.
I loved the first one.
I'm sorry.
I played 5 hours of the second one. I'm like,
Yeah.
boy. I thought
like
the.
both.
I don't know. I mean, we can
I
go
didn't-
side tangent right now, but
No, that's
I
okay.
thought the story. I thought the story of the first one was great. I thought it was really cool to have the future and backstory. I thought the twist was interesting. I'm a sucker for high fantasy sci-fi, so I'm just like, hell yeah, let's get weird.
No. Yeah, for sure.
Ryan, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I just think the Amazon show. Don't try to be 2018 God of War. Go be trashy 2000s God of War.
Oh no, they're
Make it
gonna
in
go
the 300
2018.
filter, and just go.
There's no way. No
Do
way.
you think
No.
we get 2018 God of War?
No, that's
Yes.
exactly what we're getting.
That's the
dude.
only God of War.
Yeah, we're 100% getting 2018 God of War. Amazon isn't like, you know what we should do? Greek Kratos.
No,
Yeah.
no.
With
To
no
be fair,
personality.
to be fair,
We should
I
have
feel
issues
like
with women being portrayed poorly. Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
okay, fair enough. But I feel like you kind of have to. You
No,
can't
you'll get flashbacks. You'll just get like little snippets here and there of who he
Then
was.
give it the,
change the
give it
story.
vibe.
You know,
If you want to watch the original God of War, like that TV series, it's gonna be on Pornhub. Like,
No. Have it like that. Have it
Okay, fair
directed
enough,
by
fair enough.
Robert Rodriguez. It could work.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, all right. But yeah, we'll see. I just feel like this was just pure magic, and I don't think that they can replicate it. I don't know. You could tell me all you want that it's gonna be great. I just have a hard time figuring that out. Like,
I don't know, man. They had made this incredible game into an awesome adaptation. So, Last
Yeah.
of Us makes me feel like anything's possible.
but I think it's different because it's hard for you to turn God of War mythology into like this is at least real world, you know, like
That's true. Giant snakes went running around trying to talk. I mean, I
giant
get it.
snakes, an axe that's being thrown and it come back like
Oh, well, we've already seen that. It was called Thor.
yeah, but like
It
is it gonna
made
have the same?
billions.
Is it gonna have the same like budget behind it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely will, dude. Have you seen anything from the Amazon shows?
I've
Yeah,
seen the
Jeff
boys.
Bezos money is
I've
throwing
seen
it
The
out.
Boys.
there.
Oh yeah, like
Oh, he-
Jack Reacher, phenomenal show. Unless I'm saying the name wrong. No, Jack Reacher,
No.
right?
Yeah,
Which
you're right.
one?
Yeah.
Jack Ryan or Jack Reacher? Which show are you talking about?
Ah, fuck. The one where it's the
definitely gonna
Fantastic
reach.
Four guy
Yeah.
from The
That's
Office.
Jack Reed.
Oh no, that is Jack Ryan.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. I wouldn't be
Jack
surprised if
Reacher
they
is with
just.
Buff
Jack
Aquaman
Ryan
from
has such a
Smallville.
high budget The Lord of the
Didn't they
Rings
make
show
a
had an
Jack
incredible
Reacher
budget.
movie with Tom Cruise?
Yes, they did.
Did, yeah, and then they did make it an Amazon show.
Yes.
To check off.
Yeah.
To check
but-
off. I like that.
Thank you.
No.
But it'll
There's
just.
too many Jacks in the Amazon franchise.
Are they going to just Jack Quaid as well? Never forget. Do we just assume that they're going to change Kratos' name to Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Jack Kratos. That's his
Jacques
full name.
Kratos?
Jack Kratos.
No, that's Atreus.
Jack Atreus.
It's just Jack.
That could make sense too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We've gone on a tangent for a while, but let's bring it back. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Really appreciate it. I'm sorry I was ill-equipped for this episode, but to be fair, you can't blame me. A lot happened in this episode, but not really.
It was a very straightforward episode. which I was okay.
Yeah. Me
Yeah,
too.
Probably one.
Too many illusions other
Yeah.
than like
It was
the
a
Easter
heavy.
eggs.
It was an episode just trying to get to that big, heavy hitting conversation.
Yes,
Right.
it was
totally.
coming.
Right. With that being said, where can people find you, Ryan?
People can find me at RyanDeLion3055 on Twitter for whatever I'm doing on this wild world of the internet.
Aaron, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at my name, Aaron Seaney, Seaney.
All right. And Harry, where can people find you?
People can find me at social media platforms under Illgrill Chill, ILLGRILLCHILL, as well as writing stuff at 61indie.com, which is a small indie website that amplifies indie voices. And if you're going to PAX, be sure to check out one of my panels on utilizing video games and tabletop games in classrooms, which is on Saturday, March 25th from 1:30 to 2:30 at the Arachnic Theater, as well as my second panel, which is redacted because I haven't officially talked about it yet. So I mean, it's posted, but I haven't talked about it yet because there's other things happening which are really exciting. But be on the lookout, Illgrill Chill on Twitter.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And of course, you could find me here on the Penultimate Conquest. We'll be having a Penultimate Game Show on Thursday with Ryan, maybe Lane, if he shows up back from his vacation. We'll see. I'm sure we have something to talk about, Ryan, for
Oh,
Thursday.
there's always something in gaming.
Yes, this is very, very true. Maybe we'll talk about Atomic Heart and some
Oh, and how
games
you're
that came out.
getting no points.
I mean, I don't know if I'm getting no points. I'm getting 4 points. I'll take it. But that's neither here nor there. With that being said, thank you, gentlemen, again for joining us, and we.